Today on Up at Noon, is Deadpool the best superhero origin movie ever? Destiny Mega Bloks should be hurled into space, and what the hell does this emoji mean? All that and more on Up at Noon.
Up at Noon is back, here it is!
It's here, and it's noon, and it's... up
at noon.
We're still workshopping
the
theme song. We don't have the budget for that.
We really hate that trumpet song, too. We picked that out, and we're like, this will never get tiring, and it got tiring after about
we actually, about 2 or 3 years ago, Max and I took a weekend trip to New Orleans, and we went down on the street with some field recorders and got a big 40-person brass band to just knock out a couple of cranks for us, put it right up on our recorders, and put it right in the top of the show.
100% true, believe it or not.
We definitely didn't go on Killer Tracks and just buy a song.
If you're just tuning into Up at Noon for the first time ever, I'm sorry. I'm Max Scoville. That's Brian Altano, and this is a show where we goof around and have a good time with our fun toys and have a great... And we can watch it on the computers. All sorts of different types of computers, such as the Xbox computer, the PS4 computer, IGN.com's computer, Roku box, Twitch, YouTube, Apple TV, all kinds of stuff. I can't wait until you can watch streaming stuff on a smart fridge, because I think it's going to happen pretty soon.
I think you probably could now, right?
I don't know what smart fridge. I don't have a smart fridge. I have a very stupid fridge. It spills water all over the floor when I try to get ice cubes. On that note, you can tweet at us. That's probably the best way to get our attention. We use the hashtag #UpAtNoon. Or also, if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, there's chats there, as well as the comment section on IGN. So if you're in one of those various outlets of typing stuff on the computer, we're trying to pay attention to you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things to look at.
Hashtag Up at Noon. Go on Twitter, ask us questions, give us comments, call us names. We will be legally required to read some of them.
Yeah. Now, speaking of legally required to read things, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Honey Baked Holiday Ham. Every day is a holiday when there's ham. This is a real sponsor, an actual company that is the Hams. Wanted to give us money for us to talk about their product on our show.
That's right.
Not a joke that we did because we don't have real sponsors.
Yep. We give ham 10 out of 10.
When they didn't pay us to say that,
nope.
We reviewed that on our own.
Ham is delicious.
At a Easter breakfast.
A brown sugar, hot honey, delicious treat you can eat on the train.
Now, we've got a really good show lined up for you today. We've got a lot of fun things to talk about. First of all, this is sort of... we're definitely coming in hot here. We have a wonderful man named Stephen Machuga, who is from an organization called StackUp.org, which is a nonprofit that's all about getting video games to people in the military who are stationed overseas and want to have a nice time when they're sitting around being bored. We've got him on Skype, and we might not be able to talk to him. We're going to give that a shot right now, and we're going to see if we can maybe do that. Stephen, can you hear me?
Afternoon, gentlemen. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh my God, it works. We can totally hear him. That's amazing.
Steven.
I'm so excited. It's the best. Yeah. All right. So, hi.
Hi, Stephen. Tell us a little bit about StackUp.org. What's going on with this thing?
Uh-oh. Turn it up. Bueller?
Yeah, we're
Can you
here.
hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can we hear you?
How's everything going on?
It's going pretty good. You sound very small. You sound like a tiny little man inside a computer.
Uh-oh. That's not good. You guys can hear me all right?
It's getting louder. It's getting louder. This is very, very...
Hi. Can you hear me?
You look very sensual when you do that.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, dear. All right. Nice.
Hold on. I'm going to go to my system preferences.
We're opening the system preferences.
Don't look at my system preferences, everybody.
Take a look at Max's system preferences.
Okay.
One of his system preferences is that every time he turns on the computer, there's a new picture of an animal kissing a different animal.
That's true.
He's really into that. Look, now we have a man live, and this is the power of live television. This is what you don't really understand. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of things to happen. Like we have this dude who looks like a grown-up version of half the cast of The Sandlot. That's Squints right after he kissed that girl in the pool.
Yeah, don't ever do that, by the way. Don't ever fake drowning to get a kiss.
Yeah.
Unless you're on that one dating app where it's all about faking drowning.
Yeah. Drownies.com.
Gurgle.org or whatever. Let's see.
How's it going over there, guys?
I can kind of hear you. It's pretty good. So can you talk a little bit about what StackUp is, and we'll try to hear you?
Sure can. All right, StackUp.org. We are a military charity that supports U.S., NATO, and ANZAC, which is Australian and New Zealand troopers, with the power of gaming, so to speak, not just regular gaming, board gaming, collectible card gaming, any kind of gaming. As somebody who's deployed multiple times with the military, gaming was a huge piece of what helped keep me sane when I was overseas, and it helped me transition back home from when I came back home from my deployments. So I wanted to continue my service after I got out of the military, and this is how I chose to do so. So that's the long and short of it.
That's awesome. Now, one thing that I always am fascinated by, clearly we're a couple of layabout idiots. We've never served any time or is it served time? That's jail.
No,
right?
that's jail.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, obviously we're not good at this. But I mean, there's kind of that misconception if you're off, in the line of duty, you're going to be very busy. But I hear there's a lot of downtime.
There absolutely is. People kind of think it's like a Vietnam War film every time you go outside the wire, and it's not. It's 23 and a half hours of sitting around, and maybe if you're lucky, a half hour of craziness that happens on post, on base, wherever you're located at, unless you're rolling outside the wire all the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of downtime. I mean, you have 364 days in a wake up, and you were saying like serving time. That's pretty much what it is over there. You are kind of in a jail over there. There's not much you can do. You do your job, you go eat, you go lift weights, you go, and then you go back to your bunk, and there's really not a lot to do, and a lot of guys have a tough time staying motivated, staying happy. And let me tell you, video games is a great motivator for guys. If you get at the end of your work shift, knowing that you have we got a Halo tournament happening, or we got Call of Duty, which is a big request for ours, but guys want to have something to look forward to at the end of the day, and a lot of times, in some of these posts, they just don't have the leisure activities available to them. A lot of units, the budgets have been getting cut as these combat zones have been getting whittled away. So guys are finding less and less to do to keep themselves preoccupied and happy over there. And it's really important to make sure that, they're not focusing on what they're doing over there, or focusing on, hey, there's all this stuff going on back home. I got to pay the mortgage. I got to, is my wife okay? Are my kids okay? They can't do anything from where they're at. So we have to keep them preoccupied and happy while they're deployed. So that's a lot of what the charity is all about.
Now, there's probably the assumption, now you even said it, Halo, Call of Duty. I think a lot of us would leap to the idea that these are the shooting games, military shooters, sort of like kind of raw, visceral, first-person, very violent games are what we would associate a soldier who is possibly doing that to some variety in real life. But I guess, and I would imagine that they are interested in other genres as well, right?
Yeah, it's one of the strangest questions that gets asked us, because obviously the Call of Duty, Battlefield, and then Madden are our big three asks. Everybody wants those, and of course the question is, guys are going outside the wire shooting people and getting shot at. You wouldn't think that they would want to play a game like that. Right. But not only is it the most popular game, one of the most popular franchises out there right now, but guys either are a part of that and know it's fiction, or they're not a part of that and they want to be a part of that, so they enjoy shoot. That's the only thing I can think of as to why we get so many requests for shooters.
Because those are also the most popular series around. Period. Because Madden and Call of Duty are regularly bestsellers.
It's kind of like if Max and I predominantly played video games about buying toys and eating pizza and stuff like that. But so how do you are you able to sort of like pair up sort of personality types or individuals with certain requests, or do you kind of send over like a big box of games? Like, how does it work exactly?
Well, the folks, the veterans who are interested in getting our support, they go to our website, stack-up.org, and they fill out a request on our page. It kind of lists like, hey, I'm in the military, here's where I'm at, here's what I'd like. You kind of give us a wish list, and then we work with developers like Ubisoft or Bungie or any of EA, Deep Silver, any of our partners, and see what we can get for them. And then whatever, if we got somebody who wants Fallout 4 and an Xbox One, if we don't have that in inventory, we go get it for them. We make sure that we get them like the latest and greatest in games. Like one of the big impetuses for me starting this is, we got a lot of bad care packages while I was deployed forward, and the one that really drove it home was while I was deployed to Iraq. My infantry company, which is all military age males, got a crate full of Harlequin romance novels from a library, and it was one of those. We obviously a bunch of dudes. We didn't have any use for them, so we ended up using them on the confiscated arms range for target practice.
Yeah,
but
that's fun. Shooting books.
But it was one of those things where it kind of highlighted the fifth grade canned food drive mentality of a lot of people trying to support veterans deployed forward. Where it's like, hey, if I send anything, they'll be happy for it. And next thing you know, the fifth grader runs home, grabs a dented can of yams, and brings it on.
Yeah.
Everybody's done it, and I know I've done it. You kind of rummage through the pantry, grab a can, and next thing you know, you have 26 cans of yams. Have you really done anything?
Yeah. I was going to say this kind of has that sort of underprivileged like child toy drive Christmas time thing to it. Exactly. It's like, you're like, yeah, here's an old squished volleyball. It's like nobody wants to play with that,
Yeah, so I guess I wonder what's the creamed corn of 2016 video games, I guess it's pretty much essential that you have somebody happy, right? When they're in a scenario like this, or at least sort of satiated. So it's a great idea to provide them with the entertainment that they so desire. So you also mentioned board games. Is that because a lot of people are in scenarios where they're not constantly able to run a next-gen system? A big problem when we first heard about the Xbox One was the always online thing, and that kind of went away and then kind of came back for a lot of games. I know Max and I really love Star Wars Battlefront. That's not really something you can play without like a steady internet connection.
Yeah.
Right, and based on where guys are deployed forward, there is like a leisure wireless internet connection based, at least that's what I've been hearing from guys deployed forward. The more built up the area, the more infrastructure they have for things like that, but you're not going to be connecting to Bungie's servers for Destiny or anything like that. That said, we still make sure we send that stuff just in case they have that capability where they're at. But we were definitely sweating when we heard about the Xbox One being an online-only box, and it was like, oh, I guess we're not sending those anymore.
Yeah.
But no, it's. And we don't only do veterans deployed forward. We also do veterans recovering in military hospitals back home, organizations here in the States as well that either need our support or are looking to work, create gaming is everywhere nowadays, and veterans, are nowadays, your 18 to 35 military age male and female. Everybody's gaming nowadays. The number I like using is Forbes magazine said by 2018, gaming will be a $100 billion industry, whereas in Hollywood right now it's a $10 billion industry. So we are everywhere. It's just a matter of time before we have a president who's played all the way through Grand Theft Auto 8 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So we are here to support veterans everywhere across the board, whether stateside, deployed, forward, humanitarian missions, just everywhere. So.
Awesome.
I, for one, can't wait to elect President Bonglord 69.
So, Stephen, where can people find out more? You said it's stackup-org, stackup-org, the little line thing?
Yeah, we were unable to get stackup.org, so it's stack-up.org. Or I just say stack-up.org. We're on Twitter. We have a partner Twitch channel. We're pretty much... But we're out there. Come find us. We're gonna have a booth at PAX East where we're gonna be having folks do push-ups for prizes, as we always do. Signing people up for our big event in May, our Call to Arms 24-hour gaming marathon.
Awesome.
So
and I'm guessing you guys are always trying to do fundraising and stuff too?
Oh yeah, I'm shaking the tin cup every day.
Gotcha.
Now you mentioned that there's a lot of developers that are like helping with this stuff, but is this something the average gamer can be like, I've got these games, I want to help out and bring these over to these guys?
Absolutely. A lot of guys are transitioning from 360 and PS3, and they don't want to trade their stuff in for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
So this is another opportunity for them to get a second life out of their games and gear. While we are making sure we send current generation PS4, Xbox One, if we have Xbox 360s and PS3s, we send those along as well. Because, hey, you never know when somebody wants to fire up, Fallout New Vegas or whatever.
Sure.
But yes,
awesome.
try to keep it with those. Those are the that is pretty much as far back as we want to go. Don't send us your Atari 2600. But lightly used last generation consoles and games are acceptable as well. We get a lot of those, and of course, obviously, the newer stuff is what we're looking for. So,
cool.
So gamers everywhere, send these guys your games, help them out, and developers everywhere. Keep making online single player mode or offline single player mode. We want stuff that we can play even in the middle of the desert. Not us specifically, because we would get torn up out there.
Yeah.
We are such babies.
Very sensitive.
Stephen, thank you so much.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Stackup.org. Check it out. Thanks, Stephen.
Thanks again, guys. Appreciate it.
All right.
Man, cool. that is so awesome. I remember the last time I walked into a GameStop with a stack of games, and it was like. There's a thing in there where they'll say something that is 17 cents, and you're like, I don't even know if that's worth
That's less than a postage stamp.
Like that's less
ridiculous.
than this conversation about 17 cents.
You know, one of IGN's regular freelancers, he's posting stuff all the time. Seth Macy.
Yeah.
He actually was in the Air Force for a while, and while he was there, he played a lot of Pokemon. And his Air Force pals, I don't know what the squad wingmen. His wingman, they did not think that Pokemon was cool, but he still played it. Seth Macy's a good guy. He frequently posts pictures of Macho Man Randy Savage on IGN's Twitter account on the weekend.
Yeah, that's a good thing to
Yep.
do. That's why we don't ever get the keys
Social
to
integrations. Yeah, anyway. So one thing that happened recently that was really pretty much the best thing is Deadpool came out.
Yeah, and Max, you and I have not talked about Deadpool anywhere on IGN yet. And people keep
sucks.
asking us.
Yeah.
Well, no, it doesn't suck. It sucks that
No,
we
it
haven't
sucks
talked
that we haven't talked about it, yes.
But Deadpool's awesome.
Yeah, we saw it opening night, first showing. We were both giggling like schoolgirls. We keep doing this thing where we take our significant others with us on dates that we're really going on with each other.
They are going to get us back so hard one day. They're going to be like, there's a 6-hour marathon of like, Harry Met Sally and all the other garbage movies.
We're taking them to a monster truck rally this weekend. We're really
bad.
Yeah. Anyway, Deadpool. So good. I mean, I don't think we're outliers here. Everyone seems to be really enjoying this. I've loved Deadpool as a character since I was 7 years old. I mean, you've always been a big fan of him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was like Deadpool came out in the 90s around the same time that we needed him, just like comic book movies needed him now. I think the way we came out of that kind of tailspin of 80s and early 90s comics, which was very sort of like heroic, very post-Vietnam, very like there was a lot of sort of connections to, if you even looked at like WWF characters, just these sort of like one-dimensional, big, brawny guys who didn't really have a lot of depth to them. Deadpool came out of nowhere, started breaking the fourth wall, started making fun of all the other characters. We are now in the second, third wave of legitimately good comic book movies, but they're starting to feel a little bit of fatigue there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was at that point where comic books had gone from being like, they were kind of campy, and you get kind of Silver Age, and there was late 70s stuff that was still kind of goofy, spandexy stuff. By the 90s, things were, late 80s, things were like post Dark Knight Returns. Everything got really gritty and dark, and everybody got real muscular. It was Rob Liefeld era, who was one of the creators of Deadpool.
Yeah.
And then Deadpool showed up, and he was a comic relief, but he was still also a character in that universe. It was just that kind of little pinch of humor to kind of spice up an otherwise fairly intense Marvel Universe at the time.
Which I think absolutely I love about his character from the jump, and I think it translates so well to the big screen that my biggest fear was that this would be one of those sort of slapstick, mile-a-minute joke movies, and in some ways it was, but the way it moved so quickly was that when a joke fell flat, you didn't have time to process it because so much else was happening on screen. Deadpool isn't just comedic relief. He's not just a clown. He's like, this is a movie about a guy whose relationship falls apart from cancer. Like, how many comic book movies can you say have that level of depth to them, And I think that, like, in the way it told its story, sort of the sequencing and the pacing of the narrative of saying, like, this is an origin story, but it's also an action movie. But instead of making you wait an hour and a half for an action movie the way I would say most Spider-Man movies do, and we've seen a bunch of different versions of that story being told, the way this was jump cut and interspersed between the past and the present made you never really have to worry about like what's coming up next because you always saw a glimpse of it in the future and you got to see it all get filled in.
I mean, I'd say that just the fact that like, it's a very, very puerile, very wonderfully stupid movie.
Yeah.
Very gruesome, very slapstick, but like at the same time, from a cinematic angle, the fact that it wasn't a linear story is kind of a leap and a bound ahead of most other superhero movies, which are pretty like cut and dried in terms of how they're structured. And the fact that it was also a low-budget superhero movie that managed to be an origin story, it managed to be a comedy, it managed to be tackling stuff like cancer and romance. Like, it did a lot of stuff, and it managed to pull it all off.
It was able to call out the fact that it was a low-budget movie. It was able to make fun of that, and it had connections to the the Marvel universe that I think they could only legally get away with under Fox, like such as that aircraft carrier at the end. Yeah, absolutely a set piece from Winter Soldier or a leftover from that.
Yeah, and then you've got Hydra Bob showing up, but just calling him Bob. It's a lot of really wonderful Easter eggs. This thing happens with Marvel movies, and I've really enjoyed most Marvel movies, but they don't feel deep. They're really enjoyable, but they rarely feel like they're just mired in Easter eggs or that there's a lot to look at or a lot to take in. I really want to see Deadpool again while it's in theaters. I'm definitely going to buy it when it comes out and kind of like scrub through it because there's so many little tiny things like just hidden away in there. And I feel like that's something that's sort of missing from superhero movies.
Now, like thinking about this in terms of a superhero origin story, I really think that it was probably my favorite one in the way we described, the way it jumped around. But just that it was funny, it was smart, it was raunchy, and it still had a ton of heart. And I think that most other superhero films take a part of that. Like Superman's origin story on film was gorgeous and wonderful and very heartfelt. Originally, I didn't think so much when they rebooted it worked as well. Spider-Man's worked to a degree. I think Wolverine had a pretty cool origin story, but it was kind of tucked away inside bigger picture X-Men movies.
Yeah, they always just did the flashbacks.
Yeah, I don't know. Let us know what you think. Use the hashtag #UpAtNoon. Leave a comment below. What's your favorite superhero origin movie? I really think mine's Deadpool. And now that I've had some time to think about it, I really can't wait to go see it again.
Yeah, Deadpool's really good. On that note, good news, Deadpool 2 is already greenlit. If you've seen the movie, I don't think I'm spoiling anything. There aren't any appearances, but there is a little bit of a mention about a certain.
There's a hint.
A pal of Deadpool's.
You stick around long enough.
A little Mr. Nathan Summers.
That's right, Mr. Cable.
Cable himself, and of course. Before it even was like officially greenlit or anything, we already had people who were chomping at the bit to take on that role of Cable. It's kind of going to be the big question is, if they're going to have a Deadpool 2 with Cable, who's it going to be? A lot of people are just kind of going for the basic look-alike kind of stuff. Let's take a look at some possibilities here and maybe weigh our options.
Yeah.
So first up, wrestler Kevin Nash. He looks like him. He's built like him. He's the size of him. He's the size of a truck.
He's got a pretty good sense of humor too. He's done some goofy stuff. Have you ever seen him in WWF or WWE as they call it now, since they beat the world or lost to the World Wildlife Federation? Kevin's like a funny guy, and we've seen him play the big kind of macho bad guy in a bunch of movies. He was actually Super Shredder in Secret of the Ooze.
Really?
The Ninja Turtles movie. You didn't know that?
Oh wow!
Yeah, that was Kevin Nash. Very weird.
Awesome.
So I think he fits the role in a lot of ways. It's very easy to say he's got white hair and he's big, so he's perfect for this.
Yeah.
But there might be some better options.
Right. Okay. Another one, of course, the star, the villain of James Cameron's Avatar.
Yep.
There's Stephen Lang, who plays the man with the robot suit, who
very much jumped the gun on this entire conversation last week by starting his own sort of social media campaign.
Yeah, which, by the way, I don't think that's ever really panned out for anybody, and it kind of just, I think it's kind of like, dude, get an agent, network. I feel like the social media aspect is kind of like when people do online petitions. It's like
they rarely work.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I think the closest we've ever gotten was the Donald Glover trying to be Spider-Man thing, and he didn't get a movie role, but he did get a voice acting role.
Yeah,
in the game, which is pretty close.
Take the Thomas Jane approach, where you do your own fan film, volunteer to play the part for free and see how you can pull it off.
So Stephen Lang, we actually haven't seen him do a ton since
really
Avatar.
Much. Also, he doesn't Cable has a certain charisma. Again, I think it's just muscles and white hair and previous film with scars on the face.
Yep.
Anyway, moving on. This one apparently is Rob Liefeld, Deadpool, and Cable. I don't know if he created. I think he created Cable, but he wants John Hamm, which is kind of an odd choice. I guess he thinks because John Hamm is good in Mad Men that he'd be good for Cable. This is my favorite so far. This is kind of what I want.
Me too. This was kind of like, now John Hamm, he's got great comedic range. We've seen him host SNL. We've also seen him do kind of more serious stuff if you watch Black Mirror, lots of Mad Men. But to me, this is kind of like when they cast Glenn Close in Guardians of the Galaxy. It was so far out there to be like, wait, what? So Kevin Nash is a wrestler. He's never really done esteemed Broadway stuff. John Hamm has incredible range, so this would be a really good get for them.
I think he's a safe bet, a strong bet. I think he's really good.
And if you're watching this,
looking at the hair. We keep being like, oh, we need to get someone with gray hair. They can dye people's hair in Hollywood.
Yeah, spoilers, they didn't actually burn Ryan Reynolds' face to make Deadpool.
All right, so then, on that note, this is a weird one.
Hawk
Watch, Ethan Hawke, spotted here first. You've seen him here. Where's Ethan Hawke? So, if you're unfamiliar with the Marvel Universe, Cable is the son of Jean Grey and Scott Summers from the future. And I think this would kind of be interesting because Ethan Hawke he looks like James Marsden. Like, he looks like somebody beat the crap out of James Marsden in the distant future.
It is weird he's their little boy, by the way, because both of them are kind of like skinny. And this is a big jack dude.
I mean, spoiler alert, like, Cable as a character is sort of a ripoff of John Connor.
Yeah.
That's kind of his deal. He's a time-traveling dude who's like, we gotta go to the future and fight the things. There's a bad time up there in the future.
Yep.
Ethan Hawke, I'm thinking, has experience from Training Day of acting as sort of the foil to a totally crazy...
person.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we get some, like, kind of an older Ethan Hawke acting alongside Ryan Reynolds, that could be interesting. He doesn't really have the build for it, but obviously...
He doesn't, but, like, if you watch Captain America, like, Chris Evans wasn't exactly a skinny little boy
Chris
when he
Pratt
started.
wasn't. Yeah.
You know.
And then finally, here's your favorite, which I think would be a little bit too scary for the kids. Ron Perlman. I don't know.
He's kind of a prickly dude to work with. He's played Hellboy before. He's the closest we've had on Earth to a man gorilla.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I kind of love him for.
You did a really good job of matching these photos up here.
Thanks, man. I was really looking for poses there.
Good pairing.
He was. I really loved a lot of Sons of Anarchy. He's got great range on that, and he's got like this good sort of sarcastic humor to him that I don't think a lot of people really get. He got to flex that a little bit in Hellboy, but I don't know, man. Like one of these guys, I think will be the winner. And if it's somebody else, I'm okay with that too. So let us know who you think should play Cable. Use the hashtag #UpAtNoon. Tell us what you thought about Deadpool. We absolutely loved it. So we're getting a sequel. We're getting good comic book movies in 2016 and beyond. How awesome is that?
So wonderful.
It's a good time to be alive.
We get a lot of cool new stuff in this distant future year of 2016.
Yeah.
Here's something that maybe we didn't really expect would be a thing. There's a Kindergarten Cop 2 coming out. Kindergarten Cop, if you're unfamiliar, is a film that came out in 1990 starring Arnold Schwarzenegger as a cop who has to become a kindergarten teacher.
Yeah.
Kindergarten Cop 2 is going to star Dolph Lundgren as an FBI agent who has to become a kindergarten teacher. It's going to be a direct-to-video deal.
Yeah.
No word exactly on release date, but it looks like a bad movie that is not a good movie.
Now, side note, we used to get films like this all the time that were direct-to-DVD sequels to popular Hollywood films. Rarely do they take 26 years long. Now, this looks, on paper, kind of like the first one. There's a brawny kind of idiot guy with a weird accent taking care of a bunch of children. It's a fish-out-of-water comedy. The 2 falls off because it doesn't want to be in the logo anymore. I don't know who this is for, you know?
Yeah.
But then again, I look at stuff like Netflix, right? And I look at the Adam Sandler movie that came out recently, Ridiculous 6, one of the worst films ever made. Netflix's single most popular movie ever. It is their most watched film in Netflix history.
That's also partially, didn't autoplay after everything else that they had on, so that maybe had something to do with it. I think that
Here's for people who fell asleep.
I'm going to answer who this is for. You know what this is for? This is for
Dolph Lundgren's.
This is for childless uncles who have their brother or sister's children with them, and they're at the grocery store and they pass a red box, and they're like, "Oh, good. Here's 90 minutes where I don't have to talk to these kids."
What was that kid doing?
He was peeing into a garbage can. Also, this is like the nicest school. Is that the idea? Is that it's a really nice school? Also, can we talk about Dolph Lundgren? Is like, he should be teaching school because that man is a genius.
Yeah.
He has a degree he has a doctorate in biochemistry. He's a captain of the Swedish like karate team. He's a black belt. The man is brilliant. And they're like, yeah, let's put him in a direct-to-video thing.
Yeah.
Where he has to pick up human child feces off of this big weird
Do you
carpet.
know the female in this movie was originally supposed to be Olivia Wilde, but when she received the script, she threw up for an entire weekend straight.
So they had to replace her with an entirely performance-captured CG animatronic brought to you by Stan Winston Creations.
I'm going to pitch you on something. I have a way better idea for the actual plot of Kindergarten Cop 2. Hear me out on this one. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He comes back, but all the children are now adults. But he doesn't know that. He still thinks they're in kindergarten. So he goes to their jobs at work, and he's like, "Why aren't you doing your homework?" And they're like, "I'm an adult man with my kids of my own. Leave me alone."
What if you find out that the class from Kindergarten Cop had such a bad upbringing thanks to Arnold Schwarzenegger that they all became criminals, and he's got to hunt down every single former classmate? All these 31-year-old people. All right. So you might be wondering what these strange little critters are here. We've got these little cards sitting on our desk here. These are prototype cards for a new card game from the creators of Cyanide Happiness, the webcomic. They made this game that's basically, it's
Yeah, we're putting that up there.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Our producer was like,
gave us the okay.
Our producer was like, blur it. It actually looks. It would be more detailed if we did blur it. I just want to point that it's. Come on, it's a stick figure.
That's not worse
What, are
than
you
the
mad?
picture of ham over
What are you?
there.
Come
Get
on.
out of the shot.
Yeah, the ham is more graphic.
So anyway, Cyanide and Happiness is doing their own sort of like answer to Cards Against Humanity. It's called Joking Hazard. It's on Kickstarter right now. I think it might be or going on to be the biggest Kickstarter of all time. And this thing is like, when I first heard about this, I was like, oh, do we really need another one of these like kind of edgy card games where oh man, it's so offensive. This thing is legitimately fun. I'm not going to lie to you. We put this out on a table at IGN, and people went by making comics. Now, if you're not familiar with Cyanide and Happiness, it's a comic strip, right? And it's got these kind of lovable stick figure guys that do horrible, offensive things to each other.
Yeah,
and
they're
their
these
friends.
cute little guys. It's always
so the
kind
way
of
this game works, and we're trying to play it live on the air. Now, keep in mind, we put a button, a ham up there.
So
we do have censorship guidelines here at IGN, so we're going to have to kind of work around some of the cards here.
Yeah, we're actually, if anything comes up that's too not safe for work, and we're not doing this as a gag, we're going to have to paraphrase them and cover them up if they're too edgy. So let's
Max,
just grab
I want you to take 7 cards. Just count them out.
Okay, 7 cards. We're going to play a little round here.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got them?
1, 2,
Don't look.
3,
Or you can
4.
look, actually.
Okay.
I can't see yours.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay.
Oh, okay, cool. So
how do we start?
Here's the fun thing about this. Now, you can kind of make up the rules as you go. You also kind of want to get rid of cards. Eventually, you do want to judge, like a second or a third player that can judge.
Right.
We're going to judge ourselves here.
This is very similar to, obviously, Apples to Apples or Cards Against Humanity. It's kind of a game where you just goof around with
I think it's kind of like Scrabble, too, where you kind of want to use the most to get rid of things. Now, I came up with a perfect one right here. It's 2 cards, so that's a 2-panel comic, but you could probably go up to 7 if you wanted. So let's take a look. It says, gay marriage is legal now. I think we should get a divorce.
Oh, that's clever. That's real clever. I like that. Look at that, those little guys there. Okay.
There we go. What do you got, Max? Oh, this is So, okay.
Here's a weird one. I don't know if we can say all of this, but this one's not really funny, but I think it's interesting. So I got to cover up one of these words, but for the first panel, it's a person, and they say, how big is your, and then it's a swear word that means penis, and then the follow-up one is the other person says, I have an 11-inch penis. So
what did you say?
The first one says, how big is your? I can't show you the word because it's a bad word.
Okay.
But it's pretty straightforward. It's a question and answer. It's not really funny.
Yep.
Maybe there should be a punchline there.
Here's another good one here. Why are you always so mean to me? I will effing snap your neck. So there you go. That's just 2. Or you could swap that out and say...
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be 3. I think you're supposed to kind of like really have that punchline.
I like this one too. Gay marriage is legal now. I'm a woman. So any combination...
Well, here's a good follow-up.
There's hundreds of them. There's tons.
So I don't know. It's very goofy.
So yeah, I'm having a blast with this game. Everybody here at the office is.
There is a cardboard cutout.
You can do weird, like kind of minimalist ones too, where you just kind of grab a few cards and. So here's one here. It's just a guy biting a guy's face and throwing it up, and it says, "I regret nothing." But the other guy's saying it like after he got eaten, and it's okay. Or you can just put in another picture of a cool butt. Let's
get a lot of butt.
Want to get a picture of that one, guys? Let's zoom in on this. There we go. Look at that butt.
I like this one. Hold on. I got this. Check out my twerking skills, and then he just puts his butt cheeks.
And then you can add.
Yeah. Okay.
Nailing it.
These like I'm kind of bummed because I thought we were gonna pull some really offensive ones.
Can we do this? Can we just try this one?
Oh, what's that? I don't know if we can show that. Can we show that one?
They said no. Yeah. Oh, show it.
Did you show it?
Show it. Oh,
you want to show it?
go back. Oh, there it is.
You can't show that on our show.
Oh, it's a funny little pangus.
On the internet where you can spell something wrong and accidentally see nudity.
What about this one? Can we show this one? I think we show this one. Let's show this one. Uh-oh! He used farts as a jetpack.
Look, I'm willing to forgive you for sleeping with my wife, and then he just farts in his face.
And then you can go, I ran over your dog.
I've decided to kill myself.
Wrecked.
Yeah, so this is a very stupid game.
I really love this thing.
Yeah, find this on Kickstarter. Like, normally we're kind of like, Kickstarter? I don't know. And then this showed up, and we're like, okay, this is actually like, they've got something here.
That's right.
This also, I like it because it feels like Cards Against Humanity is a lot of fun, depending on who you're playing with. But this, I feel like, has It's more complex. I'm actually kind of amazed at how it feels like magnetic poetry, but with comics. You know?
Totally. So that's Joking Hazard on Kickstarter. Just Google it. It's by Cyanide Happiness. They had a $10,000 goal, and they reached 1.1 million. So they're doing okay. They're gonna be all right. But that doesn't mean you're gonna get the thing for free. So get on there, purchase it, and get it going. What do you got? Smooch.
Oh, I think a little kiss. This one's very wholesome. This is like if we did Family Circus.
If those were the first 2 cards in the deck, you'd be really disappointed. You'd be like, I wanted something raunchy. No, you just got love. So that's Joking Hazard. Go check it out. Thanks to the guys at Cyanide and Happiness. They sent us a prototype. I think one of them took a bite out of the piece of paper.
Also, fun fact, prototype of a card game is a bunch of pieces of cardstock.
Yeah.
It's not really like if you bought something that was like a 3D printed advanced early
I don't know if the final ones will probably
product.
have backs and stuff like this, but super cool toy. It's somewhere between a game and a toy and a card game, and the rules just kind of say like, the winner is the first player to reach 5 cards or whatever number you want. We're not your mom. So as you can see, the rules are very lax, and it's going to be a ton of fun. Max, how are you? We did something horrible this week.
What did we do?
Something very horrible.
Oh, that's right.
We played a video game about a cat, and not any cat. A cat. It's missing his bottom jaw.
A cat with weird diseases.
Famous internet cat Lil Bub. Worst sentence I've ever said at my job. Put out a game this week.
It's like a package.
I don't know what it is.
It's a InstaKitty has now got Lil Bub pack. Let's watch this bad thing.
Here's what it's like to have a nightmare cat. Hi everybody, I'm Brian Altano and this is Max Govo and this is the Up at Noon Challenge. Today we're playing Lil Bub, a game about a cat who doesn't have a jaw.
I'm a cat fancier and I fancy animals.
Lil Bub came out on smartphones last week, and he's here to make them dumber.
Yeah, this is part of InstaKitty 3D, which is basically Nintendo cats, but with an iPhone.
Okay, let's take a look at this cat's face, because I think that's really his defining quality.
Look at my wallpaper. It's got pictures of Lil Bub everywhere.
Turn this little rat around.
Hey.
Let's see. Hey,
Get over here.
Come here. Come on, show everyone. Reet. There it is.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that is so unsettling.
You think that's bad? Check this out.
Oh, don't touch it. Oh, that is so disgusting. So this cat in real life has some sort of weird degenerative face disease where his tongue comes out.
Boy, I'm a big dirty kitty.
What's in his toy bowl?
Well, Bub, what's in your toys?
There's pretty good graphics for an iPhone game.
I'm gonna rub this cat. I'm leveling up my cat by rubbing his genitals.
So what's the difference between this guy and Grumpy Cat?
Lil Bub is a girl.
Okay, that's one of the differences. He's also not as sad, right? Like
yes.
He's got a perpetual sort of forced smile going on.
Lil Bub is constantly terrified.
He's a little
Take a
Harlequin
picture.
baby.
Let's go take a picture. Hold on, wait, watch this.
Don't do it. Don't put that on me.
Look at you. You got a kitty on you. A real good kitty. Yeah, look at that. It's Brian's Lil Bub. Look at this nightmare cat. I think you look cool.
Thanks.
Oh, you look real cool.
You did it.
What kind of outfits can we put on?
Don't do that.
Look at that.
Are you gonna put a hat on him or on me?
I'm gonna put it on you. No,
Oh, little Princess Tiara. This is me and my beautiful wife, Lil Bublet.
It must be exciting to be married to an animal.
Yep.
Because you guys are married now.
Yeah,
These
Lil
wedding-
Bub and I
these
wake up
wedding
every
photos.
morning and we do kisses with our messed up
No,
mouths.
don't allow that. I don't want that one bit. Go.
Don't put that anywhere. Stop it.
How do I get out of here?
Stop it.
How do I leave? This game's hard.
Ugh.
What's this?
All
I
right.
don't know what
So
that
how
was.
did we hurt this thing?
Whoa, it's room decorating. You could jazz up your cat.
I want it
Cat's
hurt.
room.
Can we write stuff on the ground? Hold on. See where it says "good job."
How do you play with it? Oh, there's games. We can play dance. Let's play dance.
What? What's going on?
Easy. Yeah, time
All
for
right.
dancing with a pet cat. Wow, this is the worst song I've ever heard in my life.
I always love stuff like this because I think of a guy like calling up his kids and being like, "I can't come home tonight. I gotta finish making a Lil Bub dancing game." Oh, he was doing a hard thrust there.
Wow, this is the worst thing I've ever played on this show.
Really popping out those mams up there.
Good.
Okay, all right, stop it.
All right.
Stop it. Return to the main.
What a whole suite of different games you could play in the game.
Oh, look, he's sleeping. I'm here to share my nightmares with you.
I've got parasites inside my body.
Let's feed him some garbage. Let's get him to eat some trash.
One thing I liked in Nintendogs is you could throw a bottle at your dog.
Yeah.
I did that a lot.
Oh, those eyes. Here, give him food.
I'm trying to make him go away. How do I give him food? Here's a canned food.
Oh, give him some crunchy rats. Bub's yogurt. Let's give him a hot little bowl of
That costs
cream.
actual money. Chicken purchased. That's my favorite sentence to see in a game.
Throw it on the floor. Oh.
Look at he's sticking his whole gross face in there. It's just disgusting animal. I bet they have to comb that out of there because I don't think he's got all his facilities.
I think we should give him a nice comb. Let's groom him and get some of that trash off of him.
Tap water.
Oh, Himalayan spring water.
Yeah, you don't get the good stuff. You just put the faucet on the cat's head. He's got like a weird nose in the back of his head.
This is horrible.
Yeah.
Put it in the bowl.
I'm trying. He doesn't want to drink it. He just wants to drink
well,
it out of the toilet full of urine.
Looks like he's gonna go thirsty today.
There we go.
There it is.
So did you learn anything about cat ownership?
I learned I don't want one.
I have one. Threw up on a rug the other day. They always throw up on the rug because that's harder to clean and they hate you.
Here, get the brush out.
I got a present! Oh, it's 50 gems, 50 diamonds for the cat.
A cat's favorite thing.
Oh,
money.
there's something new. It's some more ads for me to buy the cat.
Anyway, that's Lil Bub.
Yeah. Good news, everyone. Lil Bub's the money spent on this cat goes to the ASPCA. That's the American.
Oh, he's haunted. His body keeps clipping
saving
through the wall.
cats and preventing ailments.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that stilted little monster.
Oh, look
boy.
at those weird haunches. What are you doing?
Stop it.
Stop.
Stop doing
There's
that.
nothing there.
Stop it.
All right. So for more about pets, go anywhere else. Keep it locked.
That's disgusting.
Inside, because it's a very sick cat. Don't let it out.
Don't let it out.
Keep it locked in the house.
Keep it locked exactly where it is. Don't free it. Ah!
Looks like a frog.
It's disgusting.
And if you want to play that game, don't. It's available on the App Store, but don't.
Yep.
I spent $5 on that stupid weird
Are
cat.
you kidding me? That thing was $5?
I'm going to expense it.
That was but seriously, for anybody else in the world who's like, I like that little cat without
It goes,
with
to
a
be
jaw.
fair, it goes to the ASPCA.
Nope, that's
ASPCA.
the Ask-a-Pack-a-Pack-a-Pat. The American Shelter of People
It goes-
Against Cartoon Animals.
Yeah, all right. So, big thing that happened this last week was the New York Toy Fair, which is the big fair that they have for toys. It's a big trade show. It's basically the E3 of toys. It's for all toys. It's for like all the stuff we don't care about, like Play-Doh and Barbie and bicycles, wooden trains. But there are sometimes very cool stuff from there. Like there's action figures, which are adult toys. Mm-hmm. Not really, not like that kind of toy. But there's good stuff that we do care about. One company that had an incredible offering this year was DC Collectibles. Yeah. Now, obviously, DC is the comic company. They have, you know what they do. They've been around for 80 years or whatever. They have kind of a, I don't know, hit or miss track record with toys. They were DC Direct for the longest time, and those action figures they would make, they were like, they're all right. People collected them, but they were generally pretty expensive, and they didn't have a lot of articulation. I don't know what happened in the last few years, but DC Collectibles has stepped up the game something fierce, and they have an incredible offering for the next year or so of what they're going to be releasing. Let's take a look at these. For starters, obviously, it wouldn't be 2016 if we weren't talking about Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. These toys look really, really nice.
Yeah.
These are probably going to set you back. I think the Batman is $50 and Superman is like 45, something like that.
He's less because he has less big metal weights to wear.
Yeah, Batman probably weighs about 3 pounds. But like these are like, look at that articulation. Those are real gorgeous lineup, and they got the different hands. So like,
Side note, why doesn't Superman just throw him in the river? if he wants to win. He'll sink.
We gotta find the movie. We gotta watch the movie to find out.
That's right. I like those hands he comes with that are just like.
But yeah, so that's cool. I mean, it's kind of a given that they're gonna have more stuff like this, and this is only really a selection of the stuff they're showing off.
Yeah.
One thing they've had in recent years that have been fantastic have been the animated Batman line, and they are continuing that full force. These look awesome.
This is Batman Beyond.
No, this is regular Batman. That's I think it's Batman's anti-Mr. Freeze suit there on the right.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then you've got the Puppet Master, and you got the Joker with his hyenas, and Harley Quinn, and Talia al Ghul, and the old Firefly, the Mothman prophecies. And they do have some really cool stuff. They have a 5-pack of ladies from the episode, was it Girls Night Out? Girls Gone Wild or something? Which is cool if you're into that. Bruce Timm has that very specific way of drawing ladies, and now you can buy a bunch of toys of ladies.
Like it's cool how well they've nailed that in the action figure.
Yeah, they
looks,
they look perfect.
Yeah, they're spot on.
We had these action figures growing up. We watched that cartoon left and right, and it's really cool to see it done justice. You mentioned Batman Beyond. That is also a thing they're doing.
Man,
I'm buying this. This is amazing. They did such a flawless job with this. Yeah, look at this.
I really love the old Bruce Wayne and just the angular looks on that dog. Yeah, that's such a cool suit too on the new Batman there. Yeah, this is great, man. Like, where was this when we were watching these shows when we were growing up?
I mean,
we got Happy Meal toys.
They cost $25, so probably wasn't really the most sustainable market. But that said, they're doing some good stuff. Then, of course, there are some more recent Batman animated stuff. This is from the animated Dark Knight Returns lineup, which I love the way they managed to fuse Frank Miller's art with Bruce Timm's work to make this awesome setup. And then, of course, if that wasn't enough, they have a scale Batwing.
That comes with a real life-size man.
With an actual, the Bat Riddler is a new villain they've announced at Toy Fair. He's the Bat Riddler. He's very scary. But no, like this is fantastic. These are coming out over the course of the year. This is only some of them. They also have stuff from the main kind of DC Comics line, which also like same quality. They've got statues. They've got artist-specific stuff. If you're into DC Comics, like jump on that. Like we're both kind of primarily Marvel fanboys, but like.
But this is gorgeous. This is awesome stuff. Side note, if you get that Batman blazer and you wear it to your prom, I will send you a $25 Burger King gift card. That's a promise.
Wow. All right then. So, coming up next, what do we have here?
Lego! Nope.
This is something that the question is here, who is this for?
Yeah.
The answer is, this is for children. But we're big idiots, so we're going to make fun of it. Minecraft Hot Wheels is now a thing.
Why?
Because children will literally, like, they will eat stuff they find on the ground. Let's look at this. This is a Hot Wheels Minecraft car.
Yeah, these are part of their ride-ons line. So,
the idea is you get little men who you can put in there.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change the fact that this is just like, you've got a game that's about constructing things with square stuff, and you put it with Hot Wheels?
With roundies.
It just seems like kind of an odd pairing.
Now,
kind of a weird misconnection there.
There are, hey, that's I think that's Greg Miller and I back there. That's saying there are carts in this game, right? So you do sort of see these vehicles in the game, but they're on tracks that you lay down, and I don't get it. Like, you know what? Here's the thing: had they made cars that looked like they were made in Minecraft, like you make a hot rod that's all blocky.
That would be interesting.
That would have been really cool, right? Like you do like a sort of 8-bit pixel art, 3D. You know, it's very interesting. I don't know who this is for exactly. I ask that question a lot.
It's for children.
It's for children.
And weird Hot Wheels collectors.
And children eat things off the floor.
Yes, they do.
So that's that for our question mark of toys of the week.
In other toy news, do you remember the future? Do you remember the world of the future and how cool it sounded like it would be when we were little kids?
Yeah.
There'd be virtual reality. You'd be able to print your own toys like a Magic Man.
Yep.
Well, guess what? That future is here. That's an actual thing that's happening.
That's right.
Mattel is making a $300 3D printer that kids can make their own action figures with. It's called the Thing Maker. Brian, it's time for a little history lesson. Let's go down this. This is the new thing.
Yeah.
The new Thing Maker.
Thing Makers has actually been around since the 60s. Thing Maker was a very dangerous sort of like kind of like easy bake oven for kids who wanted toys and not just like treats. So it came with these molds, and you put in these kind of like plastic melty glues. You would heat them up, pop them in these molds, and then pop them out, and you would have little toys that were kind of flat on the back. It was pretty cool. You weren't exactly making your own
That
stuff.
sounds a bit familiar. It sounds a little bit like something we might remember.
Creepy Cross!
You can scare your sister with a fake neon orange centipede because she doesn't read bug books. She doesn't know they don't look like that.
And if your cousin thinks these are gummies, you can go to his bed in the hospital.
Feed your cousin poison. Creepy Cross!
I had a neighbor that had these. It was super weird.
But yeah, so like this is awesome that they're kind of bringing this back.
Yeah.
What's worth noting is Mattel is also doing a similar thing. They make a ViewMaster, you know those things where you stick the thing in it, you flip it around. They're making one of those that fits all smartphones and basically acts as a Google Cardboard holder.
Yeah.
And apparently it's really good. And they're taking this like these goofy ass like 60s brand names, but totally like cyberpunking the crap out of them.
Now, if you're watching this and you're going, oh, you know, 3D printers, $300. I've seen 1,000 of those. I went to CES last month. There were so many of them. This is a little different. Now, this is specifically designed so there aren't things burning you or blowing up. It's a little more high end to buy a 3D printer and kind of root around and figure out how it works. This is specifically designed so kids don't do that. Because kids love to do that.
Kids
And
are
this will
always
stop
burning
them from doing
themselves.
that. The really cool thing about this is it comes with an iPad app, which you can go in and actually design your own figures, kind of like Spore. So you sculpt these things using 3D modeling. They all have pivot points. Now, we've seen a lot of 3D printing stuff that's just like a figurine. You can make action figures with joints.
That's
That
awesome.
is incredibly cool to me, which means like if there's a Star Wars toy that you want that they haven't made yet, such as Rey, you can make it
You're
yourself.
gonna have to use your imagination there. You know, it's gonna be. You know, also that's a Hasbro franchise. This is Mattel.
Dude, bootleg your own stuff at home. Who cares? That's the joy of 3D printing.
You know what I really
Look at
like?
this kid. He made a skeleton.
Is that you can make your tech bro dad an embarrassing bow tie.
Yeah.
Look at that. He's wearing a stupid little bow tie.
I have a feeling he wore that on the way to work to launch his app that morning.
Yeah.
So
I'm
anyway,
the creator of Thingmaker.
cool thing about this, you can make these. You can probably take them home and paint them, do whatever you want with them. It remains to be seen like how much of the sort of proprietary like plastic spooling stuff goes into all this. They got to make this cheap and easy for people because it's one thing to have a $300 printer. It's another thing to have $100 ink. You know?
Yep.
So
It's
anyway,
going to see
we'll see
how
goes.
it pans out. But if you're a rich guy who's got a little sweater vest and you've got a tech company,
Max,
there you go.
We haven't talked about Star Wars in almost an hour.
Oh, God. If we don't talk about Star Wars once every 20 minutes, our heads explode.
That's right. So let's talk about Star Wars.
Yeah. So one thing that was shown off at Toy Fair, obviously, there's always Star Wars stuff at Toy Fair. That's just the way it is. I wasn't impressed by the action figure offering, but Lego didn't disappoint because they never do. We are getting a new Echo Base playset from Lego, and oh, damn it. We have to buy it now.
Look at this thing.
Look at this. All right.
So this is actually, it's almost a kit based on the first 20 minutes of Empire Strikes Back. It's not even just like, here's a ship, here's a car, here's everything. Like we've got the Wampa now there in the corner, we've got a Tauntaun, we've got the Ion Blasters. The only thing missing here is the Imperial Probe Droids. I'm a little bummed they didn't put those in there.
Are they in there?
No,
they
they're
have
not.
other older playsets that have
Yeah.
those. But look at the Wampa's so cute. I love
know.
that
Even
Wampa.
The Tauntaun's adorable. You can't actually gut them open and have little blocks spill out of them, but this is so cool. It even comes with the speeder. It's got a bunch of droids in there. Yeah, let's keep looking through here.
Yeah, he's
I
got
love
the-
these little stations. They got the 70s mustaches.
It's got
and
John
stuff.
Ratzenberger.
Yep.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
This is really cool. Look at this. Look at the little.
Is that K-3PO?
Yeah, a little protocol planning droid
Little
there.
shiny boy.
That's Leia looking at her cool holograms.
They got those stupid missiles, I guess.
God, I love this. You know, I just really love all the little details they're putting in this stuff now. If you look back at Lego Star Wars when it first started, when the characters still had the yellow heads and stuff like that, versus now, it's so cool to see where this stuff is going. Again, where was this when we were kids?
Yeah.
Either way, I'm happy it's happening now. So
Look at these guys. They're happy.
Yeah.
But they're going to go die. Sorry, Dak Ralter, you're going to get killed.
That's
You're
probably
going to die
true.
in an explosion and get crushed to death.
Yeah, but this
I
thing's
could take
awesome.
on the whole empire. Oh, boy.
I'm
Sorry,
running out of
Dak.
space on my desk. I don't know where all this stuff is going to go, but I need it. On the flip side, the evil villain version of Lego is
Now, hold on.
Okay. All right. We'll set the table here correctly.
Okay, so everybody loves Lego. Lego is amazing. Lego is fantastic. It's one of the best construction toys in the world. Then there's Mega Bloks.
Then there's Mega Bloks.
Yeah, look, I'm sorry, Mega Bloks suck. Mega Bloks are garbage. They suck. I mean, if you're broke and you can't afford Legos, I get that. That sucks. But like Mega Bloks really are just they could play it safe. They could make it nice and easy. They could just kind of do like kind of similar stuff. But they always sort of try to do a little bit little bit weirder.
Let me give you the elevator pitch for Mega Bloks. When you step on a Lego, you say, ouch, that hurt. When you step on a Mega Block, you go, why wasn't that a Lego?
That's a good way of looking at it. Now, the one thing that Lego doesn't have that Mega Bloks does is, what do you call that?
Charm.
A code of ethics. They don't like to base their stuff on super violent properties. You're never going to see R-rated Lego sets, or at least maybe not until somebody goes crazy over in Denmark or whatever. Mega Bloks, they have Call of Duty Mega Bloks, they have Halo Mega Bloks, they have all kinds of stuff with guns. Most recently, they got Destiny. This was announced at Toy Fair. Let's take a look at what they got for that. They released this beautiful image, and I'm thinking maybe I was wrong. Maybe these Mega Bloks are getting kind of nice. Maybe they're finally going to do something that looks really, really pretty. Because I mean, say what you will about Destiny. Like, I'm not crazy about the game, but it is a beautiful game. It has some of the coolest designs. I'm very, very much into it. And this is like a nice looking spaceship. I wonder what these toys look like. I don't know if I. Okay. Well,
What's that little
all right,
battle beast doing down there?
I don't know. So I mean, like the model's all right, I guess, and this is kind of a you know, it's a show floor photo. It's not the best, but let's take a look at what these little model dudes look like. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
What is that? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, people are gonna buy these. Kids are
Yeah.
gonna buy these. Adults are gonna buy these. They're gonna put them on their desk. They're gonna go, all right, cool. But like, we don't get any Destiny action figures, but we get these weird little guys. These are awful. They're so ugly. They can't even pose them in a way on the show floor that looks impressive. I hate them. I think they're just an affront.
Wow.
Look at this. So one thing they say that I really think is just missing the point across the board, in their press release they said, these are the most detailed Mega Bloks yet. They're still Mega Bloks.
Yeah.
You're missing the point. Don't
Look, like, I'll put it this way. This is not like a hate show. This is not like one of those nerd rage, contrarian corner type of shows.
I mean, sometimes it is. Mega Bloks can...
Easy. But that being said, I think that Destiny fans deserve something way better. And hopefully they'll be smart enough to hold out and wait for it, because it's not there yet.
Yeah.
Anyway, Max, there's a giant mystery surrounding the universe right now, and it's not space.
No, it's not. It's those little people inside your pants, in your pocket, on your phone. This is the emoji.
That's right.
Emoji. The language of the future.
There she is.
What does it mean? Who is this? What is this? What world is this? So we had a conversation on The Office. I'm sorry, hold on. Yeah, I know, the guy in the comments who's like, what does this have to do with anything? Shh. Just go watch anything else. Literally any other video. Just go do anything else.
Yeah.
Okay? You good? Okay.
Yeah, if you don't like it, use the thumbs down emoji.
Okay.
Oops,
Say-
use an emoji. Busted. Welcome to our world.
In any case, this emoji, let's take a look at it right here. This one, you might think, oh, it's a lady flipping her hair. This means that she's sassy. She's a sassy lady. That's what that emoji means.
I don't know
Hold on,
about
wait,
that.
I'm doing it the wrong direction.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
A little teapot.
Egyptians.
There you
I
go.
don't know. So we looked it up. Apparently, that's not what it means. If you go to the official emoji Unicode database library thing, this woman is referred to as information desk girl. She's actually not supposed to be sassy one bit. She's supposed to be informative and helpful. She's supposed to be like, oh, your appointment is over here this way, sir. Let me direct you. Let me give you
Can I
information.
carry one individual cookie for you?
And see, that's kind of a bad thing, because emoji are like, you know, if you got we both got iPhones. If you send me this, I'll be like, oh, it's that hair flip lady, whatever. But if we had different kinds of phones, we would get different images. And with something like this, where apparently everybody gets it wrong in the first place, there's a serious miscommunication going on there. So let's take a look at what else you get. If you use Google to do this emoji, you get this weird banana ghost.
What?
It's like very humble. Like, this isn't a hair flip. So if you're like, if you say something sarcastic and sassy, and then you put this emoji, then someone's like, oh, there must be being humble, whereas you might have meant it sarcastically.
This looks like a dead mustard wearing oven mitts.
Yeah, this is a weird little haunted, looks like a yokai.
What is that?
It's a nightmare. It's one of those hopping Chinese vampires.
It's a bootleg Pokemon.
Yeah, it's a weird condom.
Get that out of my eyes.
Then,
What?
of course,
What is that?
What is this one on? I think this is on Windows Phone.
What the hell is that?
This just looks like if Kathy died, if they found Kathy's mummified remains and she's like, "Wah, chocolate," but then she like got
Or Two-Face was like, so I bought a new wig.
yeah.
What is happening there? Why is her eye in her mouth? Does she have two mouths?
Yeah, if Sylvester Stallone had a sister and she was a Playmobil in the Putty Patrol.
God, kill it with fire.
Then of course there's, I think this is like,
I like
I think
this
this is
one.
like a Galaxy S or something, but again, it's not really sassy. It's kind of like, so then I said, maybe we should compromise and have a nice conversation. Whatever.
The hand signal is it's very Rob Schneider
Yeah.
when he gets a tip in Home Alone 2, but it's just gum.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, gum. Just what I was hoping for.
I was hoping for $1,
Yeah.
but thanks.
And then there's this one, which is, I think this is for the HTC Sense.
Yeah.
So if you've got an HTC Sense and somebody on iOS is like giving you some sass, and then they put that emoji to let you know that that's what they're saying, you're like, oh, they're just trying to inform me. That's very,
This is,
these emoji and how we misinterpret them are breaking sarcasm, and it's real dangerous.
This is if you get all your phone calls on a Game Boy Color over
And here's
here.
Twitter, which is just this weird little what is that? I don't know. So anyway, that's just reminding you guys, be careful with your emoji. You should really only stick to the safe ones, which are the syringe, you can't misinterpret that, the poop, real obvious, and the handgun. All of those are very clear. They mean party at my house, they mean I love you, and they mean stop texting me. I'm armed.
Was the poop the party at your house? What kind of party?
No, the
did you have at
syringe.
your house? Oh,
Jello shots.
Thanks for watching Up at Noon. Next up, Ryan McCaffrey and Sony San Diego's Ramon Russell will be showing an early preview of Major League Baseball, The Show 16. You don't have to watch the last 15 of those to catch up to this show. This is a brand new one. So stay tuned for that. All you got to do is sit exactly where you are. That will play right before your wonderful eyes. Us weird-looking dudes will go away, replaced by other weird-looking dudes. This is Up at Noon. You can watch it every week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Follow me on Twitter. I'm Agent Bizzle. This is at Max Scoville, and you'll be famous.
Big thanks to our sponsor, Hams.
Hams. Thanks for watching Up at Noon. Goodbye.